Hi everybody, it's Aisa, not Asia, okay? And today I'm here to talk about something that has been destroying my life as of late, and that is
single strand knots.
better known as SSKs and fairy knots. So what are they? They are basically when your hair decides that it doesn't want to be just a straight strand of hair. It would like to bounce up on itself and make a nice little knot. And then when you go and comb it or smooth it out, you tighten the knot right on up, effectively destroying the strand. So like I said, they've been taking over my life as of late. Essentially in June, I trimmed my ends after a growth challenge, and they were really like totally messed up. So they absolutely had to be trimmed, but I felt so good about myself. They were so smooth, so sleek, so wonderful. And then come July, what's going on? My hair felt horrible on the ends again. And I went and I took a closer look, and it was not, nasty split ends. This time, feeling on the ends, I can feel those little balls. Now, for me, my hair is extremely fine, which I found out from the Natural Haven, that fine hair is more prone to knotting, tangling, splits, everything bad is, my hair is more prone to do it. So, it basically looks like a little dot, a speck, like a piece of pepper right in the middle of my strands, right? So touching my hair in July, it literally felt like every single strand. Because I tried to do like a seek and destroy. No, completely not doable. Every freaking strand of hair on my head had a knot. And I was livid. Okay, so I was supposed to make this video about 2 weeks ago. I didn't make it because I had to go out of town and my computer was broken or whatever. But I was going to ask you guys, was it livable? Like, can I just have the single strand knots and go on with my life, or would I have to cut it? I actually did have to cut it because it was causing lots of knotting, real knotting, big knots, tangling that you wouldn't believe. The hair, even after detangling it, within a minute later, to try to get your fingers through it, it just all stuck back together again. So it was just really lending itself to all kinds of horrible things and breakage. And I was just getting too much breakage, and it just had to be stopped. So yes, I did give myself yet another trim just a month after I gave myself a full-on trim. So how do we prevent this from happening in the future? Okay, so I think to try to find ways to prevent it, you might have to try to figure out exactly what caused it in the first place. I did a video for you guys where I was showing my texture and allowed my hair to shrink all the way down. I think that may have done some damage after I tried to then go in and do my stretching. And I also did a wash and go that turned out horrifically. It was dry. It was bad in every way possible. I literally had to just get rid of it by the second day. I could no longer stand it. My hair was stiff, dry, crunchy, limp, see-through, everything bad. So, and just on top of that, me having fine 4C hair, we already know how the wash and go like to do us. And it ain't nothing nice. So all of that gel and all of that work for this horrible style that did in fact cause a lot of tangling and things like that. Then there's just regular hair handling. I know for a fact that there have been times that I have felt something at the end of the comb and just kept on. And I have also done that with finger detangling. So it's not even just about the comb. It's being very, very careful with your hair, no matter which way it is that you are attempting to remove tangles. Actually try to remove them by unraveling them as opposed to ripping them out of your skull. So yeah. Also, I have issues with my fingernails, which they rip my hair out all the time. I don't know exactly what the disease is. I thought it was psoriasis. There's very heavy lining on them, ridges, lumpiness, and splitting almost constantly. So yeah, I lose a lot of hair messing around with trying to do some finger detangling. So there's also that thing. Always be careful with the ripping and stretching of the knots, because I think that when the hair actually is elastic and it stretches when you're combing it and then it bounces back. I think that bounce back is what makes the hair come back and do a little swirl around itself, and you don't know it's there, so you continue doing your hair, and once you straighten that hair out, you have just tightened that knot and solidified it in your life. I know that some people have spoken of using needles, very fine needles, to unravel a single strand knot. Now, if it was a multi-strand knot, I could probably see that, but me, a single strand, my hair is too fine. There's no way on the face of the earth that you could get it open. And even if I could, I think it would just cause so much damage to the strand, ripping the cuticle. Like something bad has to be happening from sticking a needle in your strand of hair over and over again, trying to tug it open. So for me, it just wound up being better to cut them off. I don't think that I would do that if I didn't have as many as I did. So if I just had a couple here and there, they would stay. But if your head is infested with them, it's best to cut it. So back to prevention. First off, I am going to say oiling. And I think oiling of all kinds. So that would include pre-pooing, oil rinsing, scalp oiling, and oiling your hair, which many of us do already just for, sealing purposes. So yesterday, I washed my hair, I pre-pooed, and I did an oil rinse because I'm not taking any chances. The purpose of this additional oil going on in your hair is to allow the strands of your hair to be able to slide past each other as opposed to being dry and grabbing around each other as they would naturally be prone to do. So the oil and the slickness of the hair and allowing each strand to be able to, be kind of separate and do its own thing when you're trying to detangle it is going to be a great thing. So yes, right now my hair, it felt great yesterday. After my washing, I did not feel like I was tangling it right back up. I've also been all over online, and this was something that was recommended, and I think it's a pretty good idea. Okay, all right, now there's protein. Okay, so protein and moisture have to be balanced. You could get some very, very rough ends from using too much protein, okay? But you could also get very, very rough ends from not using enough. For me, it goes back and forth because of the fineness of my hair. I need protein more than the average person, but I still shouldn't overdo it. So when my hair is getting a little too elastic, kind of gummy, and it stretches when I comb it all the way out to here and then bounces back, yeah, my hair isn't even that long for it to be, it's doing the snapping and it's causing the damage. And if that is happening, then you definitely need to add some protein to your hair. But like I said, don't overdo it. If you're a person who needs extra protein, then I don't know. If you do it once a month normally, I guess maybe twice a month, but not every week or anything like that. You know what I mean? So basically you have to feel it out and see what's going to be the best thing for you, but protein is a good thing for our hair. Can we ever forget about protective styling? It's like so important, right? I know that some people don't have to do it, and thank God for that. But I'm not one of those people. So it is something that I absolutely have to do. There are protective styles and there are also low manipulation styles. So I would consider mini twists and mini braids that I put on my own hair to be low manipulation because I do still touch it a lot and play with it and style it and things like that. But full on protective styles, wigs and all of those things where you're able to just allow your hair to sit and grow without pulling it, without stretching it, without harming it in any way has got to be good for the full strand of your hair, including the ends.
That in itself would help to prevent single strand knots because it's written right into the name. It is a protective style.
Next up, moisture. That was on every list about single strand knots that I could find. So many believe that not having enough moisture in your hair lends itself to your hair being obviously much drier and it being more prone to wrapping itself around each other, which is its natural nature of things to do. So moisture, much like the oils, gives the hair a little bit more of a slick feeling, allowing the hairs to glide, pass, and by each other without doing much sticking and grabbing and holding onto each other. So it's like if I was trying to hug you and you're like, get off me, girl, why are you always trying to hug me? But then you go and you butter yourself up, you oil yourself up, and then I try to grab you and you just slip, you fall out from under me. I can't get a grip. It goes along the same lines, like I said, as the oil, and it allows your hair to keep its protein moisture balance, which is also a good thing so that our hair doesn't act in a way that causes it to stretch and snap and break. Moisture is a great thing, but what about when moisture goes wrong? And I think we all know what I'm talking about. We're talking about shrinkage. So when you moisturize your hair with a good moisturizer that has water base, you're going to get some shrinkage. And shrinkage is kind of the enemy, all right, for kinky hair, for a lot of it, okay? I don't know about curly hair, but I know for the kinks, it's not a good thing. So stretching, that would be twisting, braiding, bantu knots, roller sets, banding, all of those kinds of things. Anything to not allow your hair to draw up and get tight and shrink up upon itself is considered to be stretching, and it is a necessity for my hair. Now, for the most part, I do keep my hair stretched almost all the time, but you know, sometimes it's just not always doable, like I said, especially with something like a wash and go, which I don't do often, and you know why. So those methods of stretching, bantu knots are really good because they get your ends straight, because you know you're wrapping all the way to the end around a little an anchor that it can go around. Also, if you think that the ends of your twists or braids are going to get all, you know, tangled and stuff, you could use a little roll around the end to give it that curly effect. If it is extremely moisturized when you do it, then it might curl by itself on its ends. Mine only does that when I style it from it being wet, you know, then I'll have little curls on the end. Otherwise, I usually have straight, wispy sort of ends, and you know, that's fine as long as it's not trying to tangle up. So those are all the things that I could come up with that I thought were either contributing to it or could help to prevent single strand knots. So I don't know, do you guys know anything that I haven't mentioned in the video? If so, please let us know down in the comments so that anybody that comes to this video can get that information, because it's much needed. Don't keep the information to yourself. It's selfish. Anyway, I love you guys, and until the next time, I cannot wait to talk to you again. Bye.
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. If you know anybody that could benefit from this information, please be sure to share it. And while you're at it, swing by and check out my previous video.
Anything additional to it, like cut it first off, because I don't know squat.
I also have a rant and gossip channel. If you have the time, check it out. You won't be disappointed. My fitness channel is there for you to give you help with workouts whenever you need it. Swing by and check out some of my free workouts.